What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? How you guys doing? We're here to talk about the secrets of Miss America, honey. Now this is coming on A&E, and it is in the same style of Playboy, The Secrets of Playboy. They got over 60, I think it was over 60 former Miss Americas to participate, and so we gonna get into it. So let me say hi to the people, and then we're gonna get this party started. Cause yeah. Hey Natalie. Well, actually Lemon Kush who was here. Hey, first and foremost. Hey Boo. Natalie. Hey Ray. How you doing? Tracy. Baby Blue Prada shoes. I got it right, honey. I had to work on it. Hey, how you doing, Tanisha? See if it's a show you should watch. Okay, we about to get into it. Come on with the back-to-back drops, baby. I just did that literally right before I went live. Y'all know the actors are on strike, baby. It's about to be ugly. Hey, Errol, how you doing? This is right up your alley. Oh, well, I definitely welcome your input. You about to be mad at me probably, but I welcome your input. Um, Let me say this. So let me get into it right. Let me hey powerful, how you doing? Hey baby blue. Yeah, I got it right today, honey. I got it right today. When I slow down, I can do it. But when I look at it, I just be like blue suede shoes. I just be making up stuff, child. So let's get into it. So this is a docudrama, right? It is broken up into episodes. So I don't know how many episodes we're gonna have. Probably about six, maybe about five. I think the Secrets of Playboy was five, maybe six episodes, season one. And what this is all about, it is all about, I don't want to use the word exposed because I don't think they're exposed. Well, they are exposing. But people are just telling their stories, right? They're telling their stories. Yep, the actors are on strike. Yep. Um, so let me just be transparent. I am not a pageant girl. I have never understood pageants. I have never enjoyed pageants. I don't like pageants. I just were never my thing. And I'm gonna tell you, and the first thing that was said showed me why. Probably part of the reason why it's never been my thing. The very first line of the show says, Miss America has always represented the American dream. Did it? Did it represent me? Did it represent me as the American dream? Was it my representation, my reflection? Was it a mirror for me? And so for me, I never, and I'm not even talking about just out of color. I mean, definitely we know that there wasn't a black one until Vanessa Williams, and I was maybe, I remember her becoming Miss America. I might have been in middle school maybe when that happened. So it never represented me. You know what I'm saying? Tracy, you being funny. I'm shocked the football and Jack Daniel screams beauty queen and Grace, Miss United States. Shut up. So let me tell y'all a true story what happened to me in high school. I mean, in college. In college, I remember my freshman year, there was a group of girls that flocked to the television to watch the Miss America pageant. And I remember they cussed me out. I remember saying, are y'all crazy? Like, y'all are really tripping over Miss America? Like, I mean, I don't remember my exact words, but I know it was something along those lines. And baby, they jumped on me and they talked about how people can earn scholarships. And they gave me all the rundown of all the wonderful things about Miss America. And all I could say to them was, doesn't change my opinion one bit. So my sophomore year, my roommate ended up being one of those girls. I'm not going to say her name. She's no longer here. She actually passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. I still don't know what happened. I still don't know. I don't remember. I still don't think I remember what happened. I went to her funeral, and it was a bunch of Miss America. I mean, not Miss Americas. It was a bunch of pageant girls there that had on their sashes and their crowns and all of that. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but dang, I can't remember where. I still don't, because I think when it happened, we were all shocked. Because of course she was, she wasn't that old, and she was a pageant girl, and so anyway, but she was my roommate, and like I said, I'm gonna call her Jane because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up and actually say her real name, baby. When I tell you she lived and breathed pageants, I remember she went and got her a Sears credit card. And she bought one of them TVs. Y'all remember back in the day, the TVs that had the VCR already involved in it. And she just had tapes and tapes and tapes of pageants. And she had participated in pageants on top of pageants on top of pageants. She was actually from DC, and she had participated in Miss Teen DC and Miss DC. She had participated in Miss Miss DC like twice. She ran for just a bunch of pageants, and she literally would sit in bed for hours and hours and hours and just watch videotapes of pageants. Like, it really consumed her. And even when she passed away, she was working as a coach. She was working as a coach for other girls. And I just said, I just never got it. You understand what I'm saying? So when I watched this episode last night, it's not what I expected, but I wasn't surprised by anything I heard. And when I see the previews for the rest of the season, it looks like they're going to get into other things that I did expect to hear. The things that the women did in order to keep their bodies together and all of that stuff. We'll get into that with the later episodes. What's up, Jonathan? I have a collection too, but my love for it is from a fan standpoint. See, and again, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, as an adult, I accept the fact that I was very judgmental, you know what I mean? But I just didn't get it. I still don't get it, but I respect it. Everybody got something different that make them tick. You know what I'm saying? So I respect it. I definitely see it from a different standpoint. So this episode was all about a man by the name of Sam Haskell. Now, Sam Haskell actually became the CEO of the Miss America pageant in the early 2000s, when really the Miss America pageant was in trouble. It was no longer coming on television. The viewership had dropped. Its average demographic was like women in like their 50s. It wasn't catching a young audience. And so he became the CEO. And so this story really deals with him, and specifically his connection to another queen by the name of Mallory Hagan, who was Miss America 2013 out of New York. I didn't realize so many Miss Americas had come out of New York, but that's another conversation, child. Now, we start off the story with Mallory. We find out, Mallory's, she's a white girl, from, the South. She always did the pageant stuff, and she all of the different clubs and dance teams and stuff like that. She ended up moving to New York because she wanted to compete on in the big leagues. And New York is one of the big league areas if you want to get into the pageant circuit. She said she had done the teen circuit, so New York was sort of the next thing. She ended up becoming friends with a girl by the name of Claire Atkinson. And Claire actually ended up being Miss America 2010. She was Miss New York first, and then she was Miss America in 2010. The two of them became friends. They're still friends to this day. They were best friends. They've lived together, all those good things. Now, her coach tried to discourage her from becoming friends with Claire, Mallory's coach. She said, I don't think that you guys would like each other. But of course, they became really good friends, and they really did like each other. Okay. Now, Sam Haskell. Who is Sam Haskell? Sam Haskell was an agent. He worked for the William Morris Agency, and you guys know that is like the top agency when it comes to celebrity representation, right? So he was an agent for the William Morris Agency, which connected him to all of Hollywood. Like I think they said that Dolly Parton and some other people they named were his clients. And so that was his connection, and they reached out to him. His wife is also a former Miss America, so he was connected to the pageant circuit, via his relationship with his wife, and then his just being in Hollywood. So the first thing he did was he got the Miss America pageant back on TV via CMT Network. So it started off on country music television, but it was back on TV. They were like, "Whoo, we back on TV." Then they created a reality show for Miss America, which got the interest of a younger demographic, right? Because anything dealing with competition reality shows, it didn't matter that it was Miss America or whatever. People are interested. Hell, I didn't even know they had a reality show for Who Wants to Be the Next Playboy Centerfold until I looked at Secrets of Playboy. I didn't know they had done it, but it makes sense, especially in that time period. Everybody was doing competition shows, America's Next Top Model, American Idol, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The purpose of Miss America was to give middle-class women access to marrying up in class. Same as modeling. Miss America was just more respectable. Okay. All right, Miss Jane. All right. So people automatically loved him because they credit him with saving the pageant. I mean, they were like, if Sam hadn't come along, Miss America might have ended. So, that him having power already because of being a big time agent in Hollywood, and then you adding to the fact that now you have this whole legacy of the Miss America pageant on his shoulders, and people say, "Hey, you saved us. If it weren't for you, blah 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 blah." It really truly put him in a position of power, unprecedented power, and I need y'all to understand that as we go deeper. I'm sorry, y'all, my eyes are just. As we dig deeper, I need y'all to understand that, because sometimes when we tell these stories, I think people are not honest with themselves and understanding that power really does control you. I understand that at a certain point, everybody throws down and says, "F this, I'm out of here." But to a certain extent, we have all dealt with a bad boss. We've all dealt with a bad situation because we felt like that person was in a position to maybe affect them in the long run. You had a bad boss that you were like, "I don't want to piss this person off because if I try to get another position, they're going to badmouth me. Or if I try to transfer, they're going to say something bad." Like when I say we've all, I'm not saying every single person, but y'all know what I'm saying. Generally speaking, we've all had that experience or know people who've been through that experience where, and at a certain point, yeah, we weigh the pros and cons and we out of here. But it does happen. It's the reality. It does happen. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind, that this man has a lot of power and influence, specifically within the pageant. Okay. So after the reality show, it lowered their demographic. Now you're appealing to women in their 20s and 30s again. Now ABC says, "Wait a minute, y'all can come on back over here. We'll put the show back on, prime time." So now Miss America is back on a major network, and again, everybody says it's all Sam's fault. Okay. So as we're talking to some of the other Miss Americas, they're telling us about how controlling he was. One of the girls was saying how they weren't allowed to have boyfriends while they were Miss America. So for the year that they were Miss America, they were not allowed to have boyfriends because they were supposed to portray this wholesome image of the good girl who, I guess, just goes out, waves in her tiara, and goes home at night and never, we're talking about women in their early 20s, but they're not dating. One girl told the story of how her boyfriend and their friends, it was New Year's, and they weren't allowed to go out, so they didn't go out for New Year's. But the friends snuck them in some Taco Bell. And the next day, she got a phone call. Somebody had called Sam and told Sam that her boyfriend spent the night. And she's like, I got in so much trouble because somebody had told Sam that my boyfriend spent the night, which she said he didn't spend the night. They did come over, but what the version of the story he got ain't what really happened. But yeah. They talked about how I just told you that about the boyfriend stuff. Okay. They were told that Sam had spies everywhere, right? He knew what you were doing at all times, even if you thought you were sneaking around. And one girl was saying how she didn't, even when she felt like she wanted to say something, she didn't know who she could trust, because it could be somebody at the front desk of the hotel. It could be the limo driver. It could be somebody across the hall heard me leave. She was like, I never knew who I could trust because he would find out the most minute details of what happened. And you're questioning, well, who told him that? Like, how would he know that this girl's boyfriend bought her some Taco Bell on New Year's Eve? You know what I mean? Like, how would he know that? And so it just created that environment of fear, and it created an environment of I don't know who I can trust. Like I think she's cool. We get along, but I can't tell her none of my business. Oh, I can't trust her because of this. And again, when we talk about control, all of this stuff is created environments. Again, when we talk about control as far as men or women in abusive relationships, we know that the first thing they do is they alienate you from your family and friends so that you feel like you don't have anybody you can turn to, but who? Them. So this again is a control tactic where if I create an environment where you don't know who you can trust, then you can't trust nobody. And then nobody's talking to each other, and I can keep everybody in the little silo that I've put them in. Okay? It shouldn't have even mattered at that point. Hey, peace, because she wasn't making any appearances as Miss America or representing an organization. It shouldn't have mattered, but it did. Oh, it gets deeper, Harold. Oh, hold on, Harold. So Sam has a podcast because he sounds like them dudes. Oh, child. First of all, and I'm not one of those people that's always looking for the rainbow flag under every cover. However, I know Sam got a wife and all. But I'm just saying I have questions that there might be a rainbow flag waving somewhere under his covers. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm not one that be finding the rainbow flag everywhere. But y'all Google Sam Haskell, Miss America, look at a couple of videos, and y'all tell me if you think there's rainbow flag somewhere around. Okay. Oh, trust really be. You're not the first to make the assumption about Sam. Okay. See, Harold said I ain't the first. Okay. I just want listen. Y'all know I don't like doing that. I don't like throwing that on everybody because y'all know some. Shut up. See, that's how I get distracted. I was going to tell y'all something that a comment somebody left under my video. I'm gonna just stay focused. I'm gonna stay focused. Okay. Okay. So when Mallory, now remember, the majority of the story is going to be about Mallory Hagan, who was Miss America in 2013. She was Miss New York in, I think, 2011, 2012, something like that. She was Miss New York. She became Miss America in 2013. And Sam. So the majority of the story is about the two of them and what happened with the two of them. She wins Miss America in 2013, and for whatever reason, he immediately takes a dislike to her. Now, publicly, of course, he plays his position. To her face, he loves her. She's the best thing since sliced bread. She's the best Miss America. Oh my gosh, she's so great. But behind closed doors, he talks about her like a dog. I mean, from day one, he called her trash from day one. From day one, he privately, after her press conference, her initial press conference, he literally called her trash. And this is going to be their relationship throughout. To this day, nobody knows what started it. Why? The only thing I can think of is she's not who he wanted to win. The only thing I can think of is there was somebody else that competed that year that he thought deserved it or that he thought should have won, and she won instead. And so from that point forward, he just AF with her. Y'all know what I'm saying? Because nobody throughout this whole documentary was able to say, oh, well, Mallory offended him, or Mallory offended his wife, or, he don't like girls with the letter M. Nobody was able to come up with a what did Mallory do moment, right? Nobody's been able to figure out what did Mallory do to this man. So Sam also had an assistant, a man by the name of Brent Adams, and he became his assistant, and he worked for Brent for years. He became his right-hand man. Y'all know how that happens in the Hollywood. You start off as the assistant, you just picking up coffee and donuts, and then within 2 to 3 years, you running the whole thing. Hey, Kiss My Cheeks. What's up, my love? This comes on A&E, and it's a docu-series, so it's like 4 or 5 episodes, but the first episode came on Monday. It comes on Monday nights. I think it was Monday, y'all, after The Secrets of Playboy. But if you put into your DVR Secrets of Miss America, it should pop right up. But it comes on if you have A&E. I'm not sure where it streams. I think somebody said A&E streams on Discovery Plus. I'm not sure where it streams. So she found out he put the B in LGBT. Maybe she did, child. But I feel like if she had some dirt on Sam, she'd have told it, baby. When I tell you this girl, when we get child, if she had some dirt on Sam, baby, she'd have told it. Okay. So Brent and Mallory. So they talk about how complicated, how hectic it is when you're Miss America. They said it is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. No days off. They said they only give you your itinerary 1 month in advance because the whole calendar is just so overwhelming that they feel like you can only handle 1 month at a time. But it is just like 9 o'clock to 9:15, 9:30 to 9. Like they showed some of the sheets, and you're like, dang. So towards the end of her 1-year run, Mallory and Brent hooked up because remember, to her face, Sam loves Mallory. He's inviting her to his house for dinner. He's taking her around, introducing her to people. He's like to her face, he loves her. So she had no reason to believe that it wasn't genuine. And so towards the end of her year, she went to Sam's house for dinner. She met Brent. They started talking, and Brent said he went out to New York a couple of months later. They went out on their first official date, and then they started dating. Now, Brent said that they didn't make it official until she was basically no longer Miss America, because I already told y'all that they couldn't have no boyfriends and stuff. And they told Sam, they thought Sam would be happy because, again, Mallory thinks that Sam likes her, like genuinely likes her. And Brent is like, Sam tells me that, he gonna take me, he loves me, he sees a future for me, he's gonna take me to the moon and back. Like, he feels like this is what I could do. Baby, Sam was like, when Brent told Sam that him and Mallory were dating, he told him to his face, why would you date somebody that's trash like that? You could do better. And then basically after that, every chance he got, he was like, she's such trash. Why are you dating her? She's a slut. Why would you do that with her? Now, here is the only, I ain't gonna say only, here's my first criticism that I felt like they were not clear about. Brent kept saying he didn't understand why Sam wasn't happy for them. He didn't understand why Sam wasn't happy for them. However, if you keep watching, you find out later on that Sam used to date Brent used to date Sam's daughter. Well, that's why he didn't want you, because in one of the things he said, one of the well, I'm jumping ahead, but we find out later on one of the things that he said about Brent was, I can't believe he's dating. I can't believe he left you. This is an email to his daughter. I can't believe he left you to date trash like her. Well, I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Now, we don't know why he never liked Mallory to begin with. Like, he didn't like Mallory from the beginning. However, he ain't like you dating Mallory. He didn't like Brent dating Mallory because Brent used to date his daughter, and he feel like you left my daughter for her. Okay. It has been said that Sam disliked Mallory so much because he wanted Brent to marry his daughter. Right. And he even said that to Brent. He said, like, I can't believe, like, you deserve a woman with class and money like my daughter. So I'm like, Brent, you know why now, Brent, I need you to be honest. Like, again, I believe I believe what y'all saying about this man, because again, we're going to have proof later on. I believe what y'all saying, but don't be disingenuous. You were dating his daughter. You and the daughter broke up. You started dating Mallory. Now, I don't know if there was an overlap. I don't know if there was a 2-month break, 3-month window. Hell, it could be a 2-year window. We don't know. But don't play with us now. Y'all know I don't like that. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You know why he didn't like you dating Mallory. He already ain't like Mallory. Hey, Colton. He already ain't like Mallory. So let's not play. Okay, now let me get back to my notes. Okay. Now, let me see. Now, Mallory said that she felt like Sam didn't like her from the beginning because she never gave Sam that type of control. Like, she stood up to him. She never gave any examples of any showdowns that they had, but she said that she just never gave him the power over her. But that's what she said. So they started dating. And Brent said that at first he didn't really tell Mallory all the stuff that Sam was saying about her, because he was like, he just thought it would blow over, that Sam was just whatever. He just wasn't happy, but eventually it would blow over. So when Mallory got done being Miss America, she said that a lot of people, because she spoke so well and she did so great, that a lot of people, asked her if she was interested in getting into broadcasting. And a lot of former Miss Americas, not a lot, but y'all know what I'm saying, we do have some very former Miss Americas that have gotten into broadcasting. So she said it wasn't that crazy of a leap, for her to get into broadcasting. So she moved to LA, and she started taking meetings. And she said that she would go to the meeting and the meeting would go great. The people she said she had a meeting with Dancing with the Stars, I guess to be a judge. And because, her talent in Miss America was dancing. She's been a dancer her whole life. And she said, Brent ended up being VP for marketing for Miss America. So he wasn't like acting as Sam's assistant. Like, he had moved up in the ranks. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So, she said that she would go on these meetings and she would get all this positive feedback, but then she would never hear back, or she would never get the job. Right? And she doesn't know that Sam ain't effing with her. So she never knew what it was. So Brent said one day they were in a meeting with some executives from ABC, and flat out, he called her a slut in front of the executives. He was like, "Oh, Mallory is such a slut." He said, "I can't even count the amount of men that she slept with when she was Miss America." First of all, even if that's true, which I don't really care, that ain't my business, but even if that's true, you sat in a room full of executives from ABC and told them people that this woman was sleeping around and that she's a slut. So Brent said that's when he realized, okay, this is going too far. This isn't just something that's going to blow over. Like, how could he do that? So he then did start relaying to Mallory, he's not your friend. Like, he's not the person you think he is. He's undermining you. He's going behind your back. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sam had an issue with Mallory from day one. I don't know what his issue was with Mallory, but I like I said, I suspect that he never wanted her to win. I suspect that it was something about, sometimes people just don't like you. And I suspect that he just did not like her and he just did not want her to win. And he did not feel like that's the only thing I could think of, because unless somebody is just not telling the whole story, I don't know what else it could be based on this episode. Now, we might find out later on that more information came out, but based on this episode, it never went any deeper than from day one, he just didn't like Mallory. But I suspect, if I had to guess, I suspect that he just thought somebody else should have won, or maybe he had heard stories about her and he just didn't like what he heard. And what I mean by that, I mean stories about maybe her standing her ground, maybe her being defiant, not going along with the rules. I don't know. Mallory said she never said that she was like a party girl or anything else, but she said that she liked, she was young and she wanted, but she wasn't out there like running the streets or nothing, according to her. According to her. So, yeah, he really did, Harold. I mean, it just seemed evident. And again, they said it started day one, which tells me that he didn't like her prior to her winning. He didn't want her to win. So whatever it is started way before that. He also spread rumors that she slept with the guy that was the host of Miss America. Like, he was really spreading these rumors about Mallory. So it came a point in Mallory and Brent's relationship where Mallory was like, look, bro, I appreciate the fact that you let me know that this man ain't ish and that this man is running around. Child Novelty Expression says, I'm a TV reporter in Florida. I've worked with a lot of Miss America winners and contestants. They have some stories. Baby, listen, this was a lot, and this is just one episode. So then they started talking about some of the other Miss Americas, that were in the documentary. And they said, I mean, we heard the stories, but, some of them said they didn't believe them. They knew the stories weren't true. Some of them said, no, they weren't sure if they were true or not, but they thought Mallory was a good person. Like, nobody said, well, Mallory was a slut. You could tell that some of them probably believed what they heard, but none of them were like, she's just a horrible person. So Brent and Mallory ended up breaking up because Mallory basically was like, how the hell you gonna keep working for this guy? Like, you say you love me. You say me and you were in a relationship. You my man, I'm your woman. Yeah, you're working for this man that not only hates me and calls me all kinds of names and talks about me the way he talks about me, but who is actively trying to ruin my life. Like, he is actively stopping me from having a career and making money. Like, you gonna have to make a decision. And Brent said, at the time, he honestly was afraid to make that decision. He said that he honestly felt like with the power that Sam had, that Sam could stop him from being able to find a job, stop him from being able to work anywhere else. So he was afraid to leave. He said he was honestly afraid to leave. And many of them have a complex. You got cut off. I know you're going to finish right now. Maybe the ringing of some of these pageants happened years prior. Rigging, I'm sorry. Some of these pageants happened prior, and the go around with Mallory didn't happen. Maybe you ain't going to convince me that they don't be rigging the pageants. But anyway. Okay. He told Sam, okay, called her trash. Okay. Moved. Okay. So when she realized that she wasn't going to get a job, and she gave Brent the ultimatum, and Brent chose to keep his job rather than quit, she packed up and moved back to New York. She said, clearly, it ain't going to happen here. Clearly, I'm not going to get into broadcasting. Sam is blocking me. I know he's blocking me. Can't prove it. But all right, fine. So she ends up moving back to New York, and her and Claire end up moving in together. You remember Claire is another former Miss America. At the time, Claire was working as a coach. And Mallory started working with Claire, and they started coaching the girls together. And the next like three Miss Americas were girls that they had coached. And so basically they were hot commodities because I mean, if you're in the pageant circuit and you see these women that are working as coaches and the people that are working with them are winning Miss America, y'all know how that goes. Oh, well, I want her to be my coach. So they decided to start their own business, their own coaching consultation business. So the two of them went into business together. And they said that that first year that they started, they had, I wrote down the number. Hold on. They had 39 clients in over 21 states. So that was a very lucrative business. I mean, I'm sure they were charging top dollar. I don't know how much top dollar is, but I remember my ex roommate, it was thousands that she was paying coaches, right? So I can only imagine if you are making, I mean, let's just say you're making $5,000 per client, round that up to 40. You know what I'm saying? You making some good change. You're making some good change, right? Um, to be a coach, and that was just their first year. Well, guess what? KK said, if I ever have a daughter, I want to be a pageant mom. Child, okay, you want to be Miss Honey Boo Boo. Well, guess what? Miss America decided that coaches are no longer allowed. Coaches are no longer allowed. The edict, it came down. Coaches no longer allowed. Then they changed it. I guess they had too many people complaining. Too many coaches were like, what? What are you talking about? So then they changed it and they said, okay, okay, okay. You can have coaches, but there's going to be an approved coach list. You can only choose coaches from this list. And of course, Mallory and Claire were not on the approved list. So then, not only were you only allowed to choose coaches that were on that approved list as part of the official packet, when you apply to be a part of the Miss America pageant, you had to fill out a questionnaire and you had to say who your coach was. Did you work with anyone? Did anyone help you? And of course, now you're putting people in a position where you have to write that, you have to put the name down, because if you lie or it comes back later that you worked with Mallory and you didn't put it on the paper, that could be grounds for, being disqualified. So you put these girls in a situation where, I'm sorry, I really want to work with you, but I can't participate in the pageant if I admit that I'm working with you. So that basically pretty much ended their company, right? So the current Miss America was still one of their former clients, and they still had a good relationship with her. I forgot to write the girl's name down. My bad. Forgot to write her name down. But they were still really good friends. And so that Christmas, she said, hey, I just want to make some Christmas cookies. Like, I just want to relax. I just want to chill out with my friends. And I just want to sit around, make some Christmas cookies, and be silly. So they had a Christmas party. Claire and Mallory still were living together. They had a Christmas party at their apartment and invited the current Miss America over. They made cookies, and they said after the Christmas party, like, they didn't hear from her anymore. Like, she wasn't returning phone calls. She was being real sketchy. And so they, Claire reached out to her and was like, girl, what happened? What's up? What happened, girl? You fell off the face of the earth. And she said, I got in trouble because I was with you guys on Christmas, because they could tell by the social media pictures that we posted that I was at y'all's apartment. And so I got in trouble for being there. Child, they looked at the pictures that girl had posted from her social media and knew they were at Mallory's house. And then she got in trouble. I saw the Hallmark Christmas Cruise announcement. They're so politicized now. You have some state and national directors who won't necessarily rig, but common sense will tell you that you'll definitely persuade judges to pick who the winners. Oh, I'm sure. Listen, you ain't gonna convince me otherwise, and I'm sorry. I know people might say it, but you ain't gonna convince me otherwise. Okay. It's on A&E. Oh, thank you, Miss Bynum. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's on A&E. KK. It's a docu-series. So if you put it in, the first episode was Monday. We're talking about the first episode, but I'm not sure how many episodes. Probably like 5 or 6. So at this point, Mallory said she was doing a lot of drinking, very depressed, because at this point she was like, "What can I do? Like, I don't know what else to do." She said, "I left LA. I don't bother you. I broke up with the boy. I've been over here minding my business. What do you want from me? Like, now I can't even be friends with Queens. Like, what do you want from me?" And she said that she climbed up to the roof of her apartment. She said she was very drunk. And she said, if it not, she said, not if it wasn't for the relationship that she had with her parents, she said she probably would have made a different decision that day. So I'm assuming she didn't go into the details, but I'm assuming that maybe her mom called her, or maybe she called her mom. A lot of times when people are thinking about unaliving, they will make a phone call. Y'all know, they will do that final. And maybe her mom said the right things, baby. God and her mom got her off that roof. God and her mom got her off that roof. So she ended up moving back home. She packed up, she left New York, and she moved back home. And while she was home, she was getting it together, figuring out, because at that point, what more? She said, I didn't know anything else but Miss America. She said, Miss America had been a part of my life since I was 14 years old. I didn't know anything else. She said, and no matter where I went, Miss America followed me. Like, I'm going to always be Mallory, former Miss America, ... Like, it's always a part of my title. And so she said, I didn't know what else to do. So thank God she could go back home. Thank God that she had a support system that was helping her regroup and helping her figure it out, right? Side note, there's a demographic of elder Miss Americas who are Sam Haskell loyalists and despise Mallory for Sam losing Miss America. Okay. Thank you, Harold, because that's important. I could tell by the tone and some of the older, that's what I was saying, that some of the older Miss Americas, I could tell that they ain't really mess with Mallory like that, but they weren't being rude about it, but I could feel it. I could feel the vibe. Mm-hmm. Now, while this was going on, Brent said that him and Mallory were still friends. And he said that every time Sam knew that he was talking to Mallory, heard him mention Mallory's name, he was still making these nasty comments. She's trash. She's a slut. She's this. She's that. And Sam said it got to a point where he was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I can no longer work in this environment. Now, do I think that Mallory was his only reason for quitting? No, there were probably other things. I mean, if Sam was that much of a jerk as it relates to Mallory, I can only imagine what other things Sam was privy to. I mean, Brent was privy to, seeing, hearing, experiencing, doing. Because you ain't gonna sit here and convince me that, Brent, you ain't do no dirty work. Now I know you want to sit on this documentary and play innocent like you was the great white hope and savior for Mallory. But you ain't gonna convince me you wasn't down in the dungeon doing some of this dirt with him. I don't believe it. Now, listen, I ain't saying that, I ain't judging you, Brent. Well, I might be depending on what you did. But I ain't judging you, Brent. But you ain't gonna sit here and convince me, Brent, that you wasn't down in the dungeon. because you worked for that man too long. And you started as his assistant. You started, on the Starbucks run, and you ended as VP of operations and some other fancy title. Okay. So Brent, we know you was doing some dirt. We know. But we're going to let you play Great White Hope. We're going to let I can't with y'all. So it was the night of Miss America. I don't remember what year. This might have been 2016. I don't know. Harold, if you remember the year, put it in the chat for me, please. Right. You got to have some kind of loyalty if you're moving it on up like that. She said it was the night of Miss America, and they were watching Miss America, Mallory, Claire, her mama. Hold on, y'all. This dag on camera. They were watching Miss America, and they said Claire was on the phone texting Brent. And Claire said, oh my gosh. Baby Brent, not only did Brent quit, baby Brent released them them emails on his way out the door. Baby Brent dropped them emails. And I vaguely remember this because, again, I don't follow Miss America. It doesn't interest me. I don't care. So I vaguely remember this. I honestly didn't follow it. And I wasn't doing YouTube. Like, if I was doing YouTube back then, I probably would have talked about it, but I wasn't watching YouTube back then. So I wasn't talking about, I wasn't doing YouTube back then. But baby, he dropped them text messages. Them emails. And in those emails, it showed how he was fat shaming the women. It showed how he was talking about them women. And it showed absolute proof that he absolutely had a vendetta against Mallory, and he went out of his way to destroy anything Mallory put her hands on. They had proof that he absolutely he absolutely destroyed her business. It was in the emails. This should be enough to put them out of business. Like, it was in the emails that he changed the rules specifically to target her not being able to be a coach and to put her out of business. There were emails in there about her being a slut. There was, in one of the emails, it said we couldn't even keep count of all the men that she slept with. We stopped counting at 20 at 27. Like, these things are in emails that he's sending out. And like I said, in one of the emails to his daughter, even said, I don't understand why Brent wants trash like her when he could have you, or why he left her for you. So, like, all of this is in the emails. And so when the scandal first hit, he was put on suspension, and basically the powers that be down to the pageant were just waiting for it to blow over. Like, they didn't have any intention of firing Sam. They were just waiting for it to blow over. And of course, they were like, oh, these messages were released by a disgruntled ex-employee. Not the fact that it wasn't true, just the fact that it was dismissed because of a disgruntled employee. Well, yeah, because they showed he was on Morning Joe. Brent was on CNN and all of that. It definitely was a major story. I just ain't follow it because, again, I don't care. Back then, I would have probably paid attention because, current day, I would have probably paid attention because, again, we probably would have had a whole conversation about it, right? But back then, child, I went right past it. I think it was 2017, the last Miss America pageant that Sam was over. Okay, so it was around 2017. Okay. Yeah, that's about right, because she moved back to New York in 2014, and so that would have been after she moved back home. Okay, that makes sense. It was all over the news. Brent Adams blew the whistle on Sam, and Brent waited until Sam crowned his last Miss America. Yep, he did it. Yep, she said they were watching Miss America, and then shit hit the fan. Now, what happened was a bunch of the former Miss Americas got together and put pressure. They wrote a letter. They did a a change.org petition, and they put pressure on the pageant to actually fire Sam, because they weren't going to fire Sam. They ain't had no intention of firing Sam. They just, like I said, they just wanted it to blow over, child. I'm sorry. My phone kept going off, and I was like, "Why does my phone keep going off?" Okay, sorry about that. What? Anyway, um, and so they, with the pressure from the former queens and the crowdsourcing, um, they were able to put enough pressure on the board where they fired everybody, child. They fired everybody. And now the question is who takes over? Who takes over, right? Um Mallory, somebody asked earlier, can Mallory sue? I do not know what type of civil litigation um that Mallory may have put in place. I don't know. And mind you, all this happened in a 4-year window because she was Miss America in 2013, and by 2017, Sam was fired. So all of this transpired in a short amount of time. This did not um drag on for years, right? Coleslaw Part 3 drop. We're gonna talk about coleslaw. Girl, I'll listen to it in a few minutes because when I leave here, I gotta go pick up my dinner, child. I decided I want Japanese hibachi, so I'm gonna go down to the Japanese steakhouse. It's a little pricey, but I got a taste for it. I got a taste for it. Um, I wanted it earlier, but they ain't open till 4. So I said, okay, well, I'll go down there when I get off my live. Anyway, sorry, y'all. See, that's me going left, going left. Let me get back center. Let me get back center. So, with that being said, now it's who takes over. So they made a conscious decision. They wanted a woman in charge. And was it Gretchen Carlson? Because I didn't write her name down. Harold, was it Gretchen Carlson that took over? She's a former Miss America, and she took over as the head of the Miss America pageant. Now, what we found out it was 2017. Harold, you're right, it's 2017. What we found out is, and this is going to lead us into the next episode. A lot of the former queens and older queens actually regret putting Gretchen in charge because it sounds like they went child from the pan to the fire. It sounds like things didn't go so well once Gretchen took over. But that was the first episode. For those of you who've been asking, it is on A&E. It's called The Secrets of Miss America. Very similar to The Secrets of Playboy. It's set up very similar. They have over six. Thank you. It was Gretchen Carlson. Thanks, Harold. They have over 60 former Miss Americas who participated in the docu series, and like I said, I feel like it's probably like 5 or 6 episodes. So we're gonna cover them. But this episode pretty much dealt with Sam Haskell and his situation with Mallory, and all that good stuff. So I'm sure at some point they're gonna talk about Vanessa. Okay, I'm sure Vanessa could have her own episode, but I know they ain't gonna give her that much. But I'm sure they're gonna get into the details of what happened with Vanessa Williams. At least I hope they are. Vanessa was invited back by Sam. They sort of made amends, I guess. Anyway. But that was the episode, y'all. So if y'all want to watch it, go back. And again, you still get more information. Like y'all know how we do it. I didn't give you every single line and all of that, but Tracy is the showrunner. She is the associate producer and showrunner of the Tribe Meetings, ReallyBTV. That is what she does, child. Tracy, that is what she does. But Tracy, Natalie trying to take your job. Natalie been trying. Natalie trying. She ain't trying to take your job, but Natalie coming up in there now. She been dropping me some tea. Honey. Nah, but oh, not Gretchen was a faux news lackey. Ooh, this was good. I'm definitely going to have to check it. Yeah, check it out. Because again, and meet me back here next week. We're going to do episode 2. And again, from the previews, it looks like they're going to get into all the other stuff, y'all know the other stuff that goes on. I think the next episode will be about how Gretchen ruined Miss America and completely removed all glamour from the pageant and modeled it into what she wanted it to be. Yeah, baby, they definitely said. Well, hold on, let me be fair. Hold on, y'all. Let me read y'all. Hold on, let me read it to y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna read y'all what Sam said. I want to be fair because it's on my TV now. I'm gonna read y'all. Damn it. Okay. Sam said the following. This is coming from his official statement. It's not the whole statement, but this is excerpts from his official statement. Much of what was reported is dishonest, deceptive, and despicable. The material is based on private emails that were stolen by ex-employees. Those who know my heart know this is not indicative of my character, nor is it indicative of my business acumen. I have the utmost respect for the women of this program and contestants at every level. Now, that ain't what it seemed like, but okay, Sam. Child, I think Vanessa Williams ended up being one of the most successful Miss Americas. I mean, there's some successful Miss Americas. I ain't saying that there aren't any more, but she's definitely got to be on that list. If you're going to rank them, she definitely got to be on that list of one of the most successful. I mean, she went on to, I think she's an Oscar away from an EGOT. I think. I know she's got a Grammy. I know she's got an Emmy. I think she has a Tony. I think she has a Tony. I know she don't have an Oscar though. But we know Vanessa Williams has gone on to conquer, stage, music, movies, TV. She's definitely got to be one. Like I said, it's definitely got to be one of the most successful former Miss Americas. Whether they were stolen or not, you said right, and that's what I'm saying. His statement seemed to focus on how the documents became exposed, not the fact that he said it. But okay. Yeah. So anyway, child. We know Vanessa Williams. Okay, I remember Suzette Charles because Suzette Charles took over after Vanessa. But I mean, I don't know where Suzette Charles is. By far, Vanessa has had the most extensive career as far as Hollywood. Yeah. Yep. I agree. So, Harold, thank you for your insight. And look, make sure you meet me back here when we do it again next week, because I know you have the insight, babe. You got the inside track, honey. But that's what it looks like. It does look like that next week's episode is going to kind of let us know what happened after Gretchen took over. And I do remember when Gretchen was like, she still needs an Oscar and a Tony. Okay, I wasn't sure about the Tony. Thank you, D. Johnson. Is that Danielle? That's Danielle, child. It looks like that. And like I said, I do remember when they took away the swimsuit, and they were talking about that, about how up in arms everybody was about her taking away the swimsuit competition. I said, now listen, I may not be a pageant person, okay? And I'm not. I told y'all I started off, Kenya was Miss USA. I told y'all that I'm not a pageant girl. I don't like, it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. But you can't have a pageant and you're not gonna have the swimsuit competition. Like, you might as well just not do the pageant. Like, come on. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna have to do it now. We're gonna call a thing. It's gonna be a thing. That's a thing. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to do it. Matter of fact, Harold, if you want to be my co-host, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. If you want to be my co-host, you don't have to come on camera. If you want to come up here and do it with me, because again, you have information that I just don't have, and you could probably give us some insight. So let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. You have my Instagram at ReallyBTV @ReallyBTV_ on YouTube. Hit me up. Oh shit, it's right there. It's right there at the screen, baby. It's at the top of the screen. ReallyBTV_ on YouTube. Hit me up if you wanna be my co-host. You can be my co-host, boo. I think I know more drag queens who won Miss Continental than who won Miss America. Child, I think I do too. I think I do too. Okay. Well, listen. I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to go get my dinner. I do not know if I'm coming back live. It's going to depend on if I feel like talking about anything else live or not. Now, it looks like there's some shenanigans going on. Shein done got sued. Okay, Shein done got sued. So I'm gonna have to see what's going on with the Shein people. Okay. Um, but other than that, child, I see that coleslaw is down to the internet still acting a fool. Peter Thomas done an interview with Carlos and done told all the people's business. So I'm gonna have to check it all out. We may come back, but I gotta eat dinner first. Okay. So I may come back. I don't know. But I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good evening. Mwah! Peace. Thank y'all.